Uh, my name is Lakunle Oluwaseun Ibrahim. Uh, when we say sociology, we are talking about a science that studies human behavior and society. Before the field of sociology, there were other courses like mathematics, law, biology, chemistry, etc. Two major events led to the development of sociology as a discipline. One is the French political revolution, and two is the British industrial revolution. Immediately after these two major events, there were problems in the society. Therefore, solutions had to be proffered so the problems could be solved. At the mention of the word sociology, what you should know is that it is the scientific study of human behavior and society. Therefore, the center stage of sociology as a discipline is to study human behavior in a scientific manner. Why do people behave the way they do? What is their reasons for behaving the way they do? What exactly are the implications of their attitude, their way of behavior, their sense of dialogue on other members of the society? In SOP 101, we are going to demonstrate both the process and the challenges of socio-scientific observation and analysis of social behavior. Because this will, make you cultivate the, let me say, the habit of scientific analysis of social data. And in the long run, you will be able to present the basic concepts and descriptive materials of sociology. One, social science and sociology. At the mention of the word social, what should come into your mind is that it is a study of the society. Anywhere you see the word social, it means what? Society. What then do we do in sociology as a field? What we do is strictly to study human behavior in a scientific manner. And what makes sociology scientific? It is because sociologists make use of scientific methodologies in carrying out their research. The achievement of these methodologies will get you familiarized with meanings and methods of sociology as a discipline. And this will also further, encourage the simple but critical application of sociological knowledge. Immediately after those two major events that I mentioned earlier on, the French political revolution and the British industrial revolution, there were problems that needed to be solved. Hence, they need to come up with another science that will study human behavior and society. The society that we live in is so complex. It is wide. It is large. It cannot be studied by a single person. Hence the need to split sociology into various branches. We have sociology of law, sociology of medicine, urban sociology, rural sociology, sociology of development, industrial sociology, sociology of the family, sociology of education, sociology of religion, etc. These areas of specialization tries to examine individual problems as it relates to those branches of sociology that I just mentioned. The place of an industrial sociologist is different from the place of a criminologist in the field of sociology. The field of a medical sociologist is different from the field of an industrial sociologist, as the case may be. We will also go further by looking at the models of society in sociological analysis. Also, we will be examining the concept of culture. What do we mean by culture? If you are asked, some of you will say culture is the total way of life of the people. Fine, you are correct, you are right. It is a total way of life of people in its entirety. But notwithstanding, according to Edward B. Taylor, culture is that complex whole that involves norms, values, beliefs, knowledge, and every other capabilities acquired by man as a member of the society. We'll go further by looking at various concepts like social status. What do we mean by social status? Social status simply means the position you occupy in the society as an individual. Under the concept of social status, we have ascribed and we have achieved. Ascribed is hereditary. It's something that is bestowed on you right from birth. But achieved status is that you work for. It is gotten through individuals, hard work, as the case may be. An example of someone who has ascribed status is a prince or a princess who was born into a royal family, and that automatically makes you a princess. It is a status nobody can take away from you. It is natural. You got it from birth. It is different from that of a professor. It is different from that of a medical doctor. It is different from that of a banker, because these are achievements that you must work for. These are things that nobody will born you with. They are things that from time to time you must, I say, put in some level of hard work before you achieve those things. That is what we call achieve status. Then we have what we call social role. Social role simply means the functions you perform as a status occupant. If you occupy the status of a professor, you have functions that you are supposed to perform. If you occupy the position of a medical doctor, there are functions you perform. If you occupy the position of a dentist, there are functions you perform. But, we'll also go further by looking at the meaning and importance of culture. Meaning and importance of culture. Why do we need to study culture? We need to study culture because it explains and examines individual people's life. From time to time, you come in contact with different culture. How do you manage these cultures? What exactly can you do to make sure that you understand other people's way of life and sense of dialogue? It is something that is not easy, because culture varies and it differs from society to what? To societies. We are going to look at the various dimensions of culture, both the material dimension and the what? Non-material dimension. Then we'll go further by looking at various concepts under culture. Concept like subculture. What do we mean by subculture? We are talking about a smaller culture within the larger culture. For instance, Enugu State belongs to the Igbos. When you have small portion of Yorubas or Hausas living within Enugu State, they are what we call subculture. We are also going to look at cultures like cultural diversity, the variations, the differences. What makes Hausa culture different from that of Yoruba culture? What makes that of Nupe culture different from that of the Jukuns? What makes that of the Igbos different from that of the Ibiras? What makes that of the Igala people different from that of the Yorubas? These are there are more concepts like counterculture, culture shock, ethnocentrism, xenocentrism, and all sort of functions. I mean all sorts of concepts. We are equally going to address the concept of socialization, as we all know that the process of socialization is a lifelong process that involves the transformation from a biological organism into a social organism. It is a process that involves learning from birth to death, but it has processes, it has steps. We have various types of socialization. One is primary socialization. Primary socialization is that takes place within the family system. What I mean here is that the family is a typical example of primary type of socialization. In this type of socialization process, the emotional bond is strong. The ties are formidable. The interaction level is highly strong. People have thoughts and feelings that are strong, that there's some kind of bond that you find so difficult to destroy. Then we have secondary socialization. This mostly takes place at group level, outside the family system. When you move in 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, you begin to come in contact with different persons who may shape your way of life, your sense of dialogue. Then from that we have what we call anticipatory socialization. Anticipatory socialization is that where you rehearse for future purposes. For instance, you want to become a footballer, you want to become a musician, you want to become a professor, you must begin to learn the basic doctrines of these fields. Therefore, you are performing some kind of rehearsals for future purpose. We also have what we call resocialization. Resocialization involves you dropping some particular way of behavior and picking up new ones. It could be from good to bad or from bad to good. So, the process of socialization is long and it involves various agents from the family, peer group, educational institutions, religious institutions, the mass media, and so on and so forth. All these topics are going to be examined in relation with Nigeria because man, they say, under the field of sociology is a product of his environment. Our center stage of our lectures this semester is going to be about Nigeria, and we in turn relate it with what is obtainable in other parts of the world. Do not forget I said earlier on that sociology is the scientific study of human behavior in society. How do we study human behavior? Humans are highly unpredictable. Our ways of life are dynamic, they are not static. We are not rigid in thought. We are not rigid in feelings. We are not rigid in emotions. So the level of dynamism in human attitude makes it difficult for sociologists to have a predictable objectivity. We will equally go as far as looking at the concept of social conformity. What do we mean by social conformity? Every society has its own rules and regulations that must be respected, that must be strictly adhered to. There must be, giving some form of consent rather. Because if you look at Nigerian society, for instance, we have rules and regulations, we have laws, we have norms, we have values that guides Nigerian societies. It could be Igala societies, it could be Igede societies, it could be Yoruba societies, it could be any form of society. So we need people to conform to these norms and values and rules and regulations. If they refuse to conform to norms and regulations of rules and regulations, norms and values of the society can be in a state of anarchy. The society can be in a state of lawlessness, where nobody respects rules, where everybody disregard, regulations. This will in turn make the society to run into a big problem. When people now fail to respect these rules, what do? We come up with some form of social control. What do we mean by social control? You are making reference to those, measures that the society has been able to put in place to correct those who have refused to conform to the norms and values of the society, as I earlier mentioned. Social control have various means. You can control people through various means. There is law, there is education, there is religion, there is culture. These are tools that you can use to control people. Lastly, you can use coercion. When you force people, there are people that no matter how simple you are with them, as far as norms and values are concerned, as regards to rules and regulations, they will still never respect those norms. What do you now do? You force them, you compel them that, look, you must obey the rules and regulations. We are also going to look at rewards and punishment. There is often rewards for those who respect norms and values of the society, and the society also have been able to spell out various means of punishing people who have high level of disregard, high level of disrespect for norms and values of the society. We are equally going to look at the concepts of social deviance. What do we mean by deviance? From time to time, people violate rules, people violate regulations. The act of violating norms and values of the society, the act of disregarding norms and values of the society, the act of showing nonchalant attitude to rules, laws, norms, values of the society is what we call deviance. When people deviate from what is expected of them as a member of the society, they become deviants. So we'll go as far as looking at the conventional and the relative meaning of deviance. Deviance in Nigeria of today is to the extreme. People show maximum disregard for norms. People no longer respect values. Our societal values are depreciating on a daily basis. There is, it's eroding. Things are getting bad on a daily basis if you look at contemporary Nigerian societies. So what exactly do? We look at sources of deviance, functions, and the dysfunctions of deviance. We may also look at the various theories of deviance. What do we mean by theory? A theory simply refers to a set of ideas that is used in explaining something. But in the field of sociology, there is what we call sociological theory. Sociological theories are a set of ideas, postulations, explanations, perspectives, tenets that are used in explaining social phenomena. What are social phenomena? Social phenomena are issues that emanate from the society as a result of social interaction. Social interaction is one of the center stage of the field of sociology. Without interaction, there is no sociology. Therefore, it is the interaction level that determines the construction of realities that occurs in the society on a daily basis. So, the center stage of the field of sociology cuts across human behavior and social interaction. If you don't interact with people, there is nothing sociology. And I want to tell you today that the field of sociology is what you practice on a daily basis. It is what you know. There are things you know. The concepts under the field of sociology are not new to you. There are things you have the ideas. Yes, you have the idea of what sociology entails. So, in a nutshell, the field of sociology is wide. This is just an introductory aspect to the field of sociology. As you go further in the field of sociology, you find out that there are bigger concepts that deserves a bit of larger explanation, because those things operate at the macro level. So we have micro level of our societal analysis, and we have the macro level of societal analysis. So we are going to look at all these concepts for the semester, and I can categorically tell you that these are things you know, these are things you do, these are things that you don't need to stress yourself to get familiar with. You know them. So the study of human behavior, social interaction, manifest and latent function, groups, and other stuff are the center stage of the field of sociology. So, in a nutshell, what we need to do is to get our minds clear, set our minds, and try as much as possible to read anything that comes towards your path. There is no textbook that relates to sociology that you cannot lay your hands on. So it is very pertinent for us to know and take cognizance of the society we live in, because that is going to definitely enhance our behavior. We from time to time, people in the society need character reconfiguration. We need to check how we do our things. We need to also look at the various ways that we can make the society a better place for everyone. So we are going to strictly examine towards the end the relevance and application of sociological knowledge. So sociology is very interesting, and I can assure you that from time to time you will enjoy the field of sociology. Thank you very much.